Hi, I'm CJ Altenberg with Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. We appreciate you tuning in. So behind me is a 2023 Logan Coach Stockman Combo. Again, this is a 23 model. They've recently switched over from 22s to 23s, so we have those starting to come in now. Now, these stock combos, let's talk about those for a minute, because these trailers have such versatility because you can do so many different things with them. You can haul horses, you can haul livestock, you can haul toys, you can do a lot of different things because of the way they're set up. And then you have that tack room to go ahead and lock items up, keep things a little bit more secure, a little bit cleaner in that front tack room. So again, these trailers have been very sought after, whether they're new or used out there on the market. If we do get these used in, they do go very, very quickly. Same with the new ones right now. Let's take a look at the drawing, because I'll show you some dimensions on this one we're looking at. This is a standard width trailer on these Stockmans from Logan. It's 7.3 wide. It is 7 tall. That's standard as well. And this one that we're looking at is a 24 footer. It has a 5-foot short wall tack room. So this is a slant wall front tack room setup. There's a lot of different versions of these trailers that we can do. There's straight walls, there's trainer tacks, there's dual tack doors. This is kind of a very popular option and a little bit more common. Again, this one's gonna have the slant wall. We'll walk you through some of the standard items on these Logans, but then also we'll look at some of the extras that we've done to this trailer as well. So first and foremost on a Logan, you're talking about a galvanized steel frame with aluminum body. So we have the strength of that steel. As you can see on the extrusions, it gives it that aluminum finish look to it. It also lightens it up a touch compared to then all steel. But when we're talking about that galvanized steel, you actually have a lifetime corrosion warranty on this trailer from that standpoint because of the galvanized steel. When you're looking at black steel, those trailers will rust over time. So again, by doing the galvanized route, you know, we're talking a lot more longevity to these trailers. These are really stout, really good ranch type trailers. If you drive down, you know, real bumpy dirt roads, you know, that have kind of some just kind of beat up, these trailers get a lot of bounce to them. If you're going across pastures, pivots, that type of stuff, you know, these trailers are very durable and very stout from that standpoint. One of the other things that they include on these standard is this vortex lining. It's like a bed liner, and they incorporate that throughout this trailer. I'll show you as we are literally walking through this. You'll see a lot of it. You know, it's underneath this gooseneck here. It's on that gooseneck drop wall. I really like it right there, because that's where a lot of road blast just beats up some of these trailers, especially if you do live down those dirt roads, gravel roads, where you're throwing rocks at high velocity from your pickup against that. So, you know, it's got that ability to get those items to bounce off a lot stouter. In the stall area, I think it's a lot quieter as well because of that. Underneath the nose though, all you're gonna have is the spare tire located to the left of the jack. You're gonna have a manual hand crank jack there. It does have the spring assist for the foot itself. This one is white sheeted. That is standard. We can make a change to silver, champagne, charcoal, slate, a lot of different options from a color standpoint. The only upcharge you'll get is when you go to a black, whether it's the polished black or a black matte, or if you go the stainless route where you want it to be like one big mirror. So from that standpoint, that's standard, but again, you've got some different color options as well. Now, if we're looking here at this front tack room, again, these combos for this reason have become so popular, because we have this front area that we can lock up, use as a changing room. We can stay in there, we can lock up all our tack. But on these doors, so on the standard models, if you watch a lot of our videos or check out our inventory, we carry a lot of the bullseye models. Now, when you make a step up to a Stockman combo like we're looking at here, or a Riot, those are their standard models. There you get a couple extra things. You get a little bit bigger tack door. And the reason why I like that is because when you have in this scenario, this swing out saddle rack, we're not as close and as pinching from the actual pads to the door frame itself. You can walk through. And some of those other models, everything gets a little bit tighter. So those tack doors are a little bit smaller. We don't have as big of an opening. So you have the swing out saddle rack, 4-tier blanket or 4-tier saddle pads. If you wanted to take one of these off, two of them off, space them out, you can do that. They've got 4 locations, but very easy to swing in. You have this heavy duty tack door, so a little bit wider. On it, you're gonna have a 4-tier blanket pole rack, brush tray for some of your smaller items. But I want you to notice that at the top, this is squared. So at the top of a door, it'll tell you a lot about the trailer and how it's made. If it's rounded at the top, that means it's a prefab door. It's really lightweight. You have to lock them in transit. I mean, the right bump will get them to pop open. But this is an item we're gonna open and close every time we use this trailer, more than likely. So we want these heavy duty items that are gonna hold up over time. This heavy duty tack door, you feel the weight of it when you go to open and close it. Those prefab ones are very, very lightweight. I mean, it is like a piece of paper in your hand. You're getting this framework between the edge to the window. So again, really stout, really durable. Again, we're gonna open and close this how many times in its lifetime, so we want those items to hold up. So again, in this tack room, we've got a lot of space in here. Again, it's a 5-foot short wall that we're talking about here. Up in the actual gooseneck area, we have windows. I like windows up in these because, one, we get the ability to see out of this trailer. We also get some airflow if we need to, but it's great to throw a mattress, sleeping bags, bedrolls, anything like that up here in this gooseneck area. You have a light up in the nose as well. There's another one right above the door, so you have a lot of light coverage. Right above me is a clothes rod, so if we wanted to hang some clothes from up here, we can do that. Again, you can use it as a dressing room. Again, if you're staying in it, just kind of securing those items as you're in transit. Again, there's that 5-foot short wall. So again, a lot of room in this tack room. Even with the saddle racks swung in, you have a lot of room to be able to work and do some extra things as well. Over here against this short wall, you'll notice that there is a tire changing ramp. So on your Stockman combos, your Riots, those standard models, you're actually going to get this from Logan included with the trailer. So you've got the ability to, if you need to get in a scenario where you need to go ahead and change a spare tire, you can just drive up on it. I've seen a lot of people actually use this underneath their jack legs just to go ahead and set those on there and crank them up and down. But again, you'll notice on this partition wall, the upright post, there's that vortex lining we were talking about underneath the gooseneck. On the partition wall, you've got hooks that line this whole thing. You've got carpet behind it, so we don't have tack rubbing against any type of aluminum sheeting, anything like that, scuffing it up. It also deadens a lot of that noise. This is marine grade, so same on the gooseneck deck and drop wall. You can put water to it, it's perfectly fine. In this back corner, that would be an ideal spot in my opinion for a corner water tank, just because that's usually some wasted space back there. Our parts and service department can install that for you. You can do that after the fact very easily on these trailers. But a really nice front tack room setup on this stock combo here. Again, with the slant wall, you just get a lot more room to work in there. The straight walls, you can do different options. Typically, we'll do a 5-foot straight wall. That way you still have the ability to do the swing out saddle rack and give you some room. But on some instances, some people go in and maybe they want to put like a 6-foot, 7-foot front tack room. You can do that. Not to say that we're stuck with 24-footers, 20-footers. Those are the most popular. We do a lot of 26s as well, but we can do 6-inch increments. If you want to make this a 25-foot combo, we can build you something along those lines very easily. So here's a look at that extrusion I was talking about. With that galvanized steel frame, aluminum body, there's that extrusion, really stout. You get a lot of tie rings on the outside here. You can always go in and add more. You can add them to every post if you want, but there's 5 on this side alone, so you've got a lot right there. You do have a load light kind of right about middle of the wheel well up on the top rail. That way you have some light coverage. That's an 8-inch awning light, shoots down and out. You have 2 7,000-pound rubber torsion axles. These are a 10-ply tire. They're all also nitrogen filled, so we're not having PSI levels fluctuate as drastically. You can put air to those if you need. And then later on, if you have a slow leak or something along those lines, you can go ahead and get that repaired and then go ahead and put that nitrogen back to there and get those benefits from that. Now as we get to the back of this trailer, because it's a slant wall, you'll notice a lot of our inventory will just do a solid rear gate. You know, on our straight wall trailers, we see those used more for actually hauling cattle. So then we put the slider on that rear gate. So there's differing options there. But for the most part on these slant walls, we typically see people wanting just a solid rear gate on there, which does have some benefit. We don't have one more moving part, which has that with that sliding gate on the back as far as that's concerned. Now, as we get into the stall area, we're going to take a stop and look at this on this back door, because I want to show you this flooring and what I'm going to talk about here. So on these standard models, your Riots and your Stockmans, you're going to have Logan's self-draining floor. It is the best self-draining floor on the market, in my opinion. The reason why is they have these aluminum planks that run the length of this trailer. They vortex line them so we don't have urine making contact with that aluminum. And then on top of it's their porous pour-in rubber floor, that's sure grip flooring. So it allows any type of liquid, any type of urine to work through the actual porous floor, get to these gaps, and out the trailer it goes. So these trailers, in my opinion, the customers that pull them, they keep these trailers a lot cleaner because it's so much easier. You don't have to pull mats, which is a headache, and it's not fun to do. So with that being said, you can literally just power wash these out. Again, you're not having to pull mats out to clean them. And then the other thing too is you're getting rid of all that liquid as far as that's concerned right off the bat when it hits the floor and goes out the trailer. So there's a good look at it. It's got a lot of grip to it. Even when it gets wet, it has a lot of grip. We have people running really sandy country. Just kind of curious to see, you know, feedback from them as, hey, does that sand get in there into those pores and clog it up? And the answer from everybody is no. I mean, this floor has been around for a little while now. There's trailers out there that are 10 years old that, I mean, work on ranches in that sandy country, and it still drains how it should. So the big thing is, if you are going to clean it out, you just muck out the solids. In my opinion, you nose it up a little bit and let gravity work with you. You come in through the escape door of the power washer, simple as that. The other thing too is that vortex lining on the sides. So again, there's more of that. So again, it's really easy to spray off and keep it clean and keep it looking like it should as it is today. Now, you might get a little discoloration over time. I mean, it just fades, but from that standpoint, I mean, this stuff is really stout, really durable. And again, it's not real echoey in this trailer. We're not getting a lot of that we're seeing as far as that's concerned. Now, in this stall area, we have a cut gate that's on a slant to match the partition wall. So we want items to match as far as in these stall areas. So this front stall, you can easily get a couple saddled big ranch horses up in here. They're going to be very comfortable and have a lot of room as far as that's concerned. It is on a slam latch. I'll show you that on the back gate too, and we're done in here. But from a safety standpoint for you, for the animals, it's pretty easy to just go ahead and slam that. If you are loading cattle, those type of, you know, any type of livestock, when they hit that wall, they want to start working back towards you. So when you get them up here, you can just slam it rather than, you know, trying to hold the gate in place and get it pinned. That's not what we want to do. We want to incorporate these slam latches anywhere we can. With it being 7.3 wide, you're going to have a little bit of wheel well on the inside of this stall area. Anytime a trailer says it's 7 foot wide and doesn't have any wheel well to it, I challenge you to put a tape measure to it, and you'll be surprised. It's going to come in probably about that 6'9 3/4, maybe 6'10", somewhere in there is where it's actually going to measure. But this one here is 7.3 wide. You have that little bit extra width, which is awesome. Then you're 7 foot tall. So that's kind of our standard horse trailer height. So, you know, this is very accommodating for, again, horses, livestock, toys, those type of items. You will notice this is an aluminum sheeted roof, but there is a bow to that. And that is important because where this trailer competes against a lot of other manufacturers as far as composition, price point, a lot of those will have flat roofs. And why that's important is here in Colorado, obviously we get snow. What we want is we want to get that moisture off of the trailer itself, so as it starts to heat up and melt, it's actually going to force that that liquid off the roof compared to those flat sheeted roofs. It wants to kind of sit there. Over time, you will have to replace and reseal roofs on every trailer. That's just part of maintenance over time. But you're not going to have to do it as frequently or as soon based on that with that bowed roof compared to those flat sheeted roofs. Now the other thing is you have these tie rails on the inside. Now they're between the extrusion, the top extrusion, so kind of between your two air gaps. And that is really important because one, it's a good height for tying horses up, but I'll show you when we get to the outside, you can add plexiglass to this trailer. And if you do that, you can't tie around these posts. You're kind of stuck. So by having this tie rail, you've got the ability to do that. There's one on driver's side and one that matches on passenger side. So you have the ability, if you want to tie, maybe strap something to it in here to secure it, you can do that. You're also going to have some LED lights. Those are on a switch at the back of this trailer as well. So we can hit the switch for our interior lights and then our exterior lights. So I showed you the one load light on passenger side. There's one up here at the top, and then there's going to be one on driver's side as well. So you have a lot of light coverage throughout this trailer. Now, this is one of the other things that I've obviously touched on a slam latch on the inside, but this has a slam latch at the back as well. Again, as we're loading items, if we're hauling that livestock, loading this thing full of pairs, maybe some bulls, the last thing we want is we want them pushing back from a safety standpoint. Being able to throw that gate, lock it, and then it's got a big cam over it as well, latch that we go ahead and secure. So we've got a couple points to anchor and secure this gate actually, as far as that's concerned. You are also going to have these little eyelets here, so we can, if you have a makeshift panel, corral that you need to out in the pasture, you've got the ability to go ahead and secure those. You've got them on each side of the trailer. And then one last thing on this back gate I want to point out is there's no air gaps at the back. And I personally am a fan of that, and there is definitely some benefits to it. So if you live down dirt roads, gravel roads, you will notice on your passenger vehicles, whether it's your pickup, SUV, car, whatever, that stuff will swirl, that dust will at the back, and it'll kind of cover the back bumper, the back tailgate, whatever you want as far as what you're driving down those roads. But that stuff will sit there, and what happens is at the back of those vehicles it swirls, and what it's doing is actually trying to swirl in. If you have air gaps, it's actually going to try to suck it into that stall area. So what do we not want our horses and livestock to be doing is breathing that dust. I mean, think about you when you're working cattle in a real dusty set of corrals all day long. I mean, you got dirt everywhere, and you don't want to be breathing that stuff. Well, we don't want them to breathe it either. So we like to go ahead and close off those air gaps, because as it swirls, it's not going to allow it to really pull all that into that. Not to say it's completely weather tight or anything like that at this back gate, but we've eliminated a couple big air gaps and the ability for that dust to actually get sucked into the trailer. If you've ever had a load of, whether it's horses or even cattle in these trailers, if you do have that, you'll notice that at the back there's a lot more dust on them, and then it'll gradually taper as you move forward. So again, we're eliminating that. Another load light over here on driver's side, more tie rings, and then up here at the front at these air gaps, like I mentioned on the inside, the track is built already into these Logans. So if you wanted to add plexiglass, there's just this piece right up here at the front that we just remove, put the plexiglass in, and then reinstall that. Now, I would, if I was going to do this, if I was going to put plexiglass to this, it's easier to handle a 4-foot section of plexiglass, especially when we're dealing with this kind of height, than like, an 8-foot big piece. They're a lot harder to manage and handle, and then also storage on that size. 4-foot sections as best you can is, in my opinion, is the way to go. So do as much 4-foot sections, maybe end up with a 2-foot that you need at the end, perfectly fine. But you can add plexi to each side of this trailer and then to the escape door. So on this one here, it does have the escape door in that first stall. So as again, loading, unloading items, you've got the ability to hop in and out of this door. The other thing too is with our parts and service department, I kind of touched on it on that corner water tank, but there's a lot of items we can do after the fact to these trailers. Maybe you need a hay rack, maybe you want a rear ramp, maybe you want a hydraulic jack, maybe you want that plexiglass, you want that corner water tank. We can do a lot of those items right here at Transwest. So We can do those as part of the deal. That's definitely something that can be done. So when you come to pick it up, you're ready to go and go enjoy the trailer how you want it to. So again, just because you see a trailer here and you go, that's perfect, but it doesn't have a rear ramp. Well, simple enough. We can fix that. It's not like we have to do a custom order for something like that if we have a trailer sitting here. But with that being said, if you want to customize a trailer and get it dialed in exactly how you want it, maybe you want that 25-footer, we can do that. Just give us a little bit of time, we can get that built for you. I'm going to give you the stock number on this one here. Again, it is a 2023 Logan Coach Stockman Combo. It is a 24-foot, 5N 211860 is the stock number on it. You can reference that. We do take trade-ins. We do financing is available. We can deliver trailers anywhere in the U.S. We ship them all over the country. So give us a call. Anybody on the sales team can help you out. Our number is 303-684-3400. We appreciate you tuning in. Have a good day.